What's up, everybody? 10-minute offense. We are going to do a little football show here, talk some NFL. Since life happens and, we're not on ESPN, we did not film a show last week before the championship games. So we just want to touch on that, touch on the quarterback carousel that's going to happen in the free agent period for the NFL. But yeah, let's kick it back to this past weekend and go with that first game. How do you guys feel with LaFleur going for the field goal down 8 with
what is he doing?
About 2:09 left.
What is he doing, man? I mean, analytics fine, but dude, you have Aaron Rodgers. You basically just gave the ball to Brady and said, "Here, get a first down," and the game's over. And I mean, I guess the defense had been playing way better in the second half. You could make that argument. They picked off Brady twice. But I just don't. I would never make that decision. I was watching it and I said, "Don't tell me he's going to kick the field goal here because they're going to lose the game."
Yeah, it's one of those few times where like the entire country agreed on Twitter and stuff that the decision being made was terrible. There wasn't one person that I saw that was like, no, that was the right call. Like, nobody said that.
And Brady was on the other end, so that was just a bad betting decision from LaFleur. Like I get his thinking, but that game is DB. Like you said, Brady had 3 interceptions, but his DBs, they were vulnerable that game.
Yeah,
King was getting beat, and then
I think with the time left, like if there's 5.5 minutes left, I don't think it's a bad call because, even if you hold them to a field goal, you got a shot to get a full drive in. Being down 8 again, obviously I'm a Bears fan, so I was laughing. I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious. But it didn't make sense. And people, maybe even me a little bit, kind of roasted Rodgers for like, why didn't he run on third down? I don't think he would have gotten in the end zone. So then maybe if he runs and they're on the 2 or 3 yard line, then maybe they go for it. But at the end of the day, you go for it. It's Aaron Rodgers. You're on the 7 or 8 yard line. If you don't get in, you still got to stop Brady. But if you do stop him, your field position is great. You know what I mean? So it just made no sense to give the ball back to Brady after a field goal, because at the end of the day, whether you get a touchdown or don't, you got to score a touchdown to win the game.
Regardless, you still need a touchdown.
So, yeah.
The analytics suck. You just need to go with the feel and the motion and which you trust and know of the game. Like analytics cannot always work.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No.
Well, I was just thinking, like, coaches, players will probably tell you, well, it doesn't come down to one play. The game was won and lost on a bunch of other plays, which is true.
Very true.
But, and I can point to the play before the end of the half to me, which was actually a bigger play. Like you said, bro, Kevin King got roasted, Julian. You're right.
Yeah.
And look at the options. Like Bruce Arians went for it on 4th down, said, fuck it, like, screw it. We're not going to punt. And then look at the floor like, oh, we should just play it safe. And look which one was the bigger play.
And that's bad coaching too, because what kind of defensive set do you have your guys in? You know what I mean? Like, they're going for it, so they're not.
I know Scotty Miller is as talented as Mike Evans, man. Like
Scooty Scotty.
But I don't remember what show I heard it on this week, but somebody made a good point. They said Aikman was comparing Miller to like Edelman, Welker, those guys. It's like, nah, man, just because he's white, it doesn't mean like they didn't say it like that. I'm saying it like that. Exactly. Doesn't mean he's those guys. The dude was like a track champ. Like he is a burner,
Yeah.
So because leaving this guy one-on-one, what are they doing? They're not kicking a field goal. It's 4th down. They're going for the end zone. So that's another terrible coaching decision, you know.
That's
So
true.
Yeah.
hey
And
man,
if you guys are watching this on your phones or whatever, leave a comment in the section. Tell us if you think, LaFleur was a genius for thinking that way, or obviously what we think.
I
He
think
kind of slipped up.
if they go for it on fourth, don't get it, even if the Bucks go down somehow and score a touchdown, right? Like I think every player on the Packers and all their fans go to sleep going like at least we went out swinging,
Right.
you know.
Let the MVP have his chance.
Right. That's another thing. The guy's been the best QB all season long.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we're about halfway through. I don't know if there's much to touch on Bills Chiefs. I was really only rooting for the Bills because I made a little bet 2 months ago that they'd win it all, but it was really strictly based on odds, and I thought they had a shot. But yeah, the Chiefs down 9-0 just kind of laughed, and we're like, oh, okay. So now we just gotta outscore.
Well, I think one thing that you and I were talking about, Steve, is why Tyreek Hill doesn't get enough love as the top receiver in the league, bro. This guy completely changed the game in that Bills Chiefs game. So
yeah, we were texting, and Julian, you can weigh in. It's like when they talk about the best receivers, not fantasy, I'm just talking NFL, right? It's always Julio, Hopkins, Adams, and like all those guys are great, but you never really hear Tyreek Hill, you know?
Probably people overlook him because of Mahomes. I think it's just Mahomes making everyone look good. But like you guys saying, Tyreek is that guy. Like he killed Tampa Bay, and when they faced in Week 12,
regular season,
200 receiving yards in the first quarter.
Yeah,
insane.
That's ridiculous, man. That's like
some can't even get that in 2 games. Like
some can't get that in a half a season. You know?
Yeah, seriously, man. Did it in 10 minutes.
And it's probably his size that people look over.
I was just going to say that
small.
too, yeah.
Well, I think also maybe he's not like the best pass catcher, if that makes sense.
I get you.
Like I don't know if he's known for his hands, you know what I'm saying? And he's not like a tall guy when you compare him to the other guys like Hopkins and Julio. But he's a burner, dude. Like he's not just a fast guy that returns punts, you know, like a lot of people with his speed, they're just punt returners because they can't catch a ball. But like one of the plays that turned around is that little pass that he caught, and it was like a 60-yarder, and he got out of bounds at the 5. And like any other receiver,
took it. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and he had these like he cuts on a dime and just he's gone, you know.
And I was watching Inside the NFL. Even the Bills players were saying that dude is fast. Like once you realize it, like he is fast.
Yeah, he's like video game fast.
Exactly. Yeah, Tyreek needs to get his love. I agree with you guys. He's for sure top 3. He could be a top receiver if you say. Like you wouldn't be wrong.
For sure.
Yeah, people have trouble stopping him. So we'll talk more like Super Bowl stuff next week since we got no NFL games this weekend. But with the 5 or 6 minutes we have left, I'm excited just to see QB change. So what do you guys feel like if we start? Let's not start with the big man in Houston. Let's go with Matt Stafford, who I love, even though I'm a Bears fan. I love him. Like where do you guys see him going? He's 32 years old. He's going to get traded.
Well, I'll come out and say this. I'm a Matt Stafford believer. I'll defend him. He puts up a lot of numbers. I know Rob Parker on Fox Sports will call him Stat Padford.
Oh, yeah.
But that's because he's playing in an organization horrible that just has been dysfunctional for so long. QB is not the problem. It's the owner. It's the coach. So, man, there's so many teams that need a quarterback. I just look at, obviously, New Orleans, I think would just be a perfect situation for any QB to go to because they just have a full roster there. I know they have some players that are going to be leaving, but I don't know what the deal with Jameis is. But there's so many teams I could choose, I think, with Stafford to go to. So that's that. I think New Orleans would be perfect for him, though.
That's a
What
great pick.
what about you, Jules? We got like 4 minutes left.
I like that move, New Orleans with Stafford, because he would fit in with that slinging offense. Even though I don't know how Sean Payton, if he'd keep Taysom Hill or not, like you were saying, Jameis, but Stafford with Mike Thomas, Kamara, that'd be good for Stafford.
Yeah, I think anybody there would be good for them. I like Stafford.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying the Colts.
Okay.
Watson ain't
Okay.
going to the Colts because it's within the division. So they're not. The Colts could give up the next 10 drafts. I don't see them doing that. But Stafford to the Colts, if it's not going to be somebody like Wentz, who Frank Reich used to coach. Stafford to the Niners, I like.
Okay.
Obviously, I'd love Stafford on the Bears. Again, though, interdivision. There's only been 2 interdivision QB trades, and it's Bledsoe from the Bills to the Pats and McNabb from the Eagles to, at the time, the Redskins. So I just don't see those interdivision QB trades going down. But I'm happy to see him out of the division, even though the Bears usually beat the Lions. He's a tough out because that team, he kept them in every game, you know?
He did, man. He did. He gets a lot of criticism, but I'm telling you, the guy can play, and he's tough too.
Nah, if he ends up on one of these, top 15 teams with a good defense,
He'll be a playoff team.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. We got a few minutes left, so let's go Deshaun Watson.
This is the part of the show where I call you out, Steve.
Why you call me out? I love him. I didn't draft Mitch Trubisky. That wasn't my call. If you look on Twitter, I actually retweeted it the other day. There was a tweet where I said during the draft that I wanted them to draft Deshaun Watson because he's a winner.
Well, here's what I'm going to say is you always give heat to these guys that bitch and moan and want out of
Not
wherever
him.
they're at. But for some reason, this guy, you're giving him a pass.
I'm giving him a pass because, one, he hasn't said a word. Everything that
he did.
But nobody's heard him speak. So everything that's been out for the last couple weeks was.
I don't need to hear him speak. I know how he feels.
But I'm saying it's the way he's going about it is way different. He's not doing James Harden almost sabotaging his team to play so nonchalantly that they're getting their ass kicked like they did against the Lakers a couple weeks ago, which then 2 days later he's traded to the Nets. That's not what he's doing.
Okay, we'll get a third opinion on this.
He's not doing what we're going to go over because this is a fun topic. I don't care. We can go over. F it. He's not doing like Jalen Ramsey did, complaining, being this cancer. So he gets traded. You haven't heard from him. He's just been a stand-up dude. He balls out, and he wants to. The owners, from all the reports, have just lied to him about everything. So I am giving him a pass. I'm allowed to give people a pass. we give Savag a pass 4 times a year. So
I want to get Jules' opinion on this, a third opinion. Let's hear this.
So I get both points. What Javon is saying, it's like the age of where stars get to moan and complain their way out. But I get where Steve is coming because Bill O'Brien, he put Deshaun in a horrible position. And it started with DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
And like, where's Bill O'Brien now? He lost his job.
Coaching Alabama.
Okay. So like, it's a tough situation. So I guess they'll still have a star. They have JJ Watt over there for Houston. So good for Houston,
So we're going to go over, but we got to go. We got to, where do you guys think he ends up? You could do, where do you want him to end up? And where do you think he ends up?
I'm going to be ideally, I know it won't happen. I'll say the Rams. I'm sorry, Jared, but just for Sean McVay, how he likes his offense, a mobile quarterback, slinging it. You could run RPO. That'd be nice for Deshaun.
See, with that defense, if they landed him, they're in the NFC Championship, in my opinion.
I agree with
The
you.
the thing is they don't have a first round pick this year to trade.
Exactly. They don't have nothing to give
You
up.
know.
No assets. Yeah.
Nothing.
What do you think, Javon?
I think he goes to the Jets. I mean, the thing with this story is it's changing every day. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure, there's just notifications coming in now about how the story's changing. But I would say probably go to the Jets. They move off Darnold, ship him out for some picks. And where would I want him to go?
Yeah, where do you
I want him to go to the Bears, dude.
Oh, I
Just
love you,
make
man.
Steve happy, man.
Yes. Yes. The thing is like I have a lot of Jets friends from New York, and they're
They
all
exist?
on Twitter. Yeah, man, they're diehards, dude, and they're nice people, and I love them. And a lot.
You sound like Trump. They're great people. I love them.
Make the Jets great again. But at first it was like, oh, he's going to the Jets because he likes their new coach and da da da. I think for the Texans, the Jets or the Dolphins make the most sense because you can get a quarterback in return, or you can be like, forget it, I don't want Darnold. I'm going to use that number 2 pick and get, let's say, Zach Wilson. So I think for them, trading with Miami or the Jets make the most sense. But if I'm Watson, who has a no trade clause, I want to get traded to the first thing I thought for him, if I'm him, thinking unbiasedly, the Saints, right? I don't know if they can afford him because of guys like Kamara and Michael Thomas and those guys. But Deshaun Watson, that team might go undefeated with their defense, with Sean Payton, the offensive firepower. Like Stafford, huge upgrade over, an aging Breeze. But Watson on the Saints, Watson on the Rams, even being unbiased and stepping back, Watson on the Bears. They're 12-4 if he's on the Bears,
Yeah, he's for sure a top 5 talent.
They'd have to trade they'd have to get rid of money. I've read 55 articles on how the Bears could get him. The Bears have a lower first round pick. Right now, nobody knows, but those are teams, the 49ers, a team with a good defense, an offensive minded coach.
One sleeper I heard was Carolina because he's from there, and Matt Rule, they have offensive weapons. They drafted a bunch of guys in the draft last year on defense. So I don't know, maybe.
I got one last thing about Watson, and we can close it out because I know we got to do the other show. If you're Jacksonville, why don't you try? Like, yes, you got Trevor Lawrence, who is supposed to be great, but Watson already is. You already know he is. You don't make a move for him.
No,
Jacksonville.
Nah, man. No, Trevor Lawrence
no
is like
for Watson or no for the Jags to do it.
I mean, I love Deshaun, and they both went to Clemson, ironically.
Oh yeah,
but dude, Trevor Lawrence, that guy's like a once in a lifetime prospect, like a once every 10 years type prospect. He's like a Peyton Manning.
You don't think that's Watson? He's just been on a trash team.
I don't feel like
Watson is a step below Patrick Mahomes.
Jags are.
Okay.
It's just something to think about. I'm saying if I'm the Jags, like if I were a Jags fan and they made that type of move, I wouldn't be pissed. You put them with the receivers they have. So I don't know. I thought because everybody's talking Jets, Dolphins, these teams.
Right.
Like, maybe you pay a lot less because you got the number 1 pick.
I see what you're saying. We don't know what Trevor Lawrence is. We've seen Deshaun in the NFL.
And Deshaun's still young. He's 25. He's not 32 like Stafford.
So true.
So you're still getting, barring a major injury, you're still getting, minimum.
But then there's that whole division thing you were talking about.
Yeah, are they the same division?
Yeah, Jags and Texans.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess it's just because the Jags always suck. Whereas the Colts were a good player.
We don't know where they play.
All right, well, forget that. I just thought of something, or even like Why wouldn't the Falcons go for him? I don't know. Can you imagine him on the Falcons with Julio and Ridley?
Ridley, yeah.
Like Matt Ryan is
there's so many teams that need a QB this offseason.
Pretty much every team should go for him.
There's 12 or 14.
I mean, who doesn't go for him? The Chiefs, the Chargers,
Bills.
the Chargers, the Bills, the Bengals,
Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks won't. It doesn't mean that they couldn't, but they won't. The Packers, unless Rodgers really ends up wanting to get dealt. Other than that, maybe Seattle doesn't. Other than that, like those teams, shouldn't everybody like? What about the Raiders? You know, they have a good quarterback. I'm just saying, like, there's like 20 something teams that should be going after him, whether they get him or not. So
yeah, man, definitely a lot of options here.
When I heard he wanted to get traded, I just got real happy. Anyway, we'll shut it down. Yeah, leave a comment. Where do you guys think Deshaun Watson ends up? Matt Stafford, does Aaron Rodgers stay a Packer? Yeah, we want to hear from you guys.
Right on. Thanks for watching the show.
Yep.